What's up, everyone? Every time I say I'm going to start doing videos regularly, a month passes by. So, you know what? I'm just not going to do videos anymore. So now maybe videos will start coming out once a week or something. Who knows? But I'm going to be doing this 13,000 mile review. There's really not much that's changed from my previous reviews. Just a couple little quirks, I guess, that I've noticed while driving it for 13,000 miles. And actually something's going to be happening right now. That's where I'm heading to right now, which is installing the mufflers on this car back, which I'll talk about that pretty shortly. And then I'm also going to be introducing you guys to my new project. It's actually a vehicle that I had for quite some time, but it's about time that I start working on it, to tell you the truth. So let's start with the positives. 13,000 miles, nothing wrong with the vehicle whatsoever. I just changed the oil myself. The one thing that I did notice is that the dealership, last time I took it in, did not screw the oil plug all the way back in. So there was a little bit of oil around the oil pan, but nothing too crazy. So I think I'm going to start doing my own oil from now on, to tell you the truth. But other than that, the car drives perfectly. Handling is still superb. It actually amazes me every single day how awesome this thing handles. Now that it's a little bit colder outside, it feels like the car pulls a lot harder. I didn't think there would be that big of a difference, considering I drove the WRX, the non-STi version, and during the cold weather I really couldn't notice that big of a difference, but with this one I definitely can. As far as power goes, you know, it is what it is. Eventually I will be upgrading it to you know, probably stage 1, 2, 3, doing all of that stuff, and I'll definitely keep you guys up to date as far as the installation and if I notice any kind of noticeable power differences. But my favorite thing to do with this vehicle, it seems like it happens at least on a weekly basis. The exit that I get off from the freeway is one of those 360-degree exits, and usually some vehicle in front of me is just going to be hauling ass. Then we get off the exit and they try, but they cannot go as fast as I can. I just wish I was in their vehicle looking at the rear view mirror, seeing this STi pull up on them and just make it seem like almost like they're not moving at all. That is my all-time favorite thing to do with this vehicle. Now onto some quirks on this vehicle that I have noticed. One thing that I didn't think was going to happen, and it started happening, I guess it's the cold weather, happened in my WRX, and now it's happening in the STi as well. It seems like the rear panel right under the rear windshield vibrates. So when you're driving, when you're going over speed limits, it's just like you just hear it constantly. Right now, of course, for the video you can't hear it, and neither can I, but trust me when I say, I hear it on a daily basis. The second thing, and I have absolutely no idea why they just decided to omit this, is the button for the trunk. Every single time I have to take my key out, open it up, I'm used to it now, but it would just be so much nicer if there was just a button that I could press, just pop that trunk open. It already has a locking mechanism that pops it open with the key. I don't know how much more money it would be to add a button. Either Subaru is working on a really, really tight budget and really not making much profit, that they can't even afford to put a button inside the trunk, or they just didn't care, to tell you the truth. So now back to the initial thing where I'm going to right now, the exhaust. Why am I putting the exhaust back on? It's literally for one reason, and it's for my neighbor's sake. I leave pretty early in the morning, and when that thing turns on, I've heard it being described like an Apache helicopter. And to tell you the truth, when I'm outside and I hear that thing, warming up, it's loud. I love it. The exhaust sounds amazing. I wish I didn't live in a neighborhood, and that's on my short-term to-do list, is to move out of the neighborhood and buy my own property where this will not be an issue. But try to be like a reasonable adult. I decided, you know what, most of my neighbors are 40s and up. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the mufflers back on up until spring. Currently, the temperatures still haven't fallen to the point where I need to warm the vehicle up much, but we're about to be in the 30s pretty regularly. I figured, you know what, let's just put the mufflers back on. I'm still going to keep the mid pipe as is, you know, with the resonator delete, and we'll see how it sounds. Hopefully there's still a little bit of a rumble, but, you know, I'm okay with it being quiet for a couple of months. I can kind of deal with that. Now, going back to power of the vehicle and tying it in with responsibility, a lot of people say, oh, 310 horsepower to the crank is not enough, blah, blah, blah. And I always keep saying, you know, I don't even really notice it, and I think it has to do with responsibility. I really don't torture this vehicle. I drive it pretty normally, or most of the time, and every once in a while I, you know, punch it and have my enjoyment with it, but for the most part, this vehicle is driven under 3,000 RPM, you know. I think that has a lot to do with me listening to stress management audiobooks such as Don't Stress the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. If you guys haven't heard it, definitely recommend it if you're trying to deal with lowering your stress level, even though I wasn't ever really stressed out, but I don't want any stress in my life, let's just put it that way. So what I decided to start doing is dealing with road rage, which, I mean, everybody has it from time to time, and I use my little trip counter to count the number of miles since the last road rage incident, all right? And it can be big, it can be small. I mean, I don't care. I don't discriminate against road rage. If I have it, if I feel like I've had it, I reset the trip counter. So currently it's been 82.2 miles. Funny story, what ended up happening in the same day, I had to reset the trip counter twice. I'm listening to the audiobook Don't Stress the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff, and merging onto the freeway. And there's about a half a mile long line, and everybody's merging. You know, we're all doing maybe 5 miles an hour. And I'm just about to merge onto the freeway when I see this Range Rover cutting everybody in the merging lane and basically trying to merge in front of me. Now at this point, she's basically merging onto me, not in front of me. So I had to slam on my brakes and let her merge in front of me. Otherwise, she would have hit me. I mean, she was completely in the shoulder and merging onto me. So, of course, blood pressure rises. You know, you're in the heat of the moment. I pull up next to her. I'm giving her one of these. She flicks me off. I flick her off. Put it in neutral. Rev it a couple of times. The exhaust pops. I'm happy now. I take off. And then I realize, man, now I got to reset my trip counter. And I did. So, 6 miles later, I get off my exit, and there's a homeless guy just walking in the middle of the street and telling me to get out of the lane, right? And I mean, you don't know what's happening with this guy, and I'm trying to keep it cool. But for whatever reason, as I'm passing him, I shifted it to neutral and just give him one of the little revs. Thing backfires, he jumps up a little bit, I'm laughing. I pull up into my work, and I realize, you know what, that was kind of a road rage incident, so I had to reset my counter. So as I was talking, we're up to 83.2 miles right now and no road rage. So my goal is to keep it at least to 1,000 miles, in which case it will reset itself and I'll be good. I'm going to be kind of sad, to tell you the truth, putting the mufflers back on. I mean, I really do enjoy this exhaust, but I know definitely my son is going to be devastated for the time being. So I've already kind of told him, you know, I don't want to just surprise him. He hates the negative surprises. So we'll see how he reacts when everything's done with. But yeah, I'm almost here right now, so we're about to start putting the mufflers back on. Still looks pretty good. I have to retighten this. the holes on the muffler and the mid pipe don't line up perfectly. So what we ended up having to do is cut a piece on the muffler side and put a smaller screw in there just to be able to hold it. Alright, so for this one it doesn't look like we're going to cut it. I think it has enough space to put 2 small screws, and if it leaks we'll put one big one, one small one, and cut it. Sounds pretty good. Not too bad. There's that deep rumble, well not rumble, but deep exhaust tone, and I think I can live with it. So here's the project that I was telling you guys about. It's my 2002 GMC Sonoma. I've had it about 7-8 years now, and it was white, but the reason why it's related to a Subaru WRX review is that I actually ended up painting it the same gray color that was on my 2018 WRX. So I got the color code and I painted it that color. So a lot of plans for this vehicle will completely be redoing the interior, engine swap, bagging it. It is already lowered. I did the spindles up front and the blocks in the back, and of course you can see these rev wheels that I put on it. But all the bodywork and paint have been done on it, and it's fully clean, including the truck bed. It just needs to be washed right now. It's been sitting over here at my dad's work for about a year now. Well, he's been tinkering with it and getting all the dents and everything out of it, and then of course painting it. So in a couple of weeks hopefully this thing will be at home and I'll get to cracking on it. Alright, we're back to quiet mode. Let's see what this thing sounds like in quiet mode. Not too bad. It definitely sounds more like an adult car than what I had. I'm gonna miss that sound for a while, I'm not gonna lie. That rumble was just way too addicting. But for the time being, I think this is pretty good. It's still got a semi-deep sound. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the camera, but I definitely can hear it inside the car. And on the outside of the car, it definitely sounds a lot better. Now, I think why it has that little bit of a deeper sound is because I did not put the resonator back on there, and it's a larger diameter mid pipe than what it normally is. I'm okay with this. You know, it's not attracting way too much attention, but at least I can survive till springtime, up until the muffler deletes come back on. So I guess let's finish this review off with one feature that I like and one feature that I don't like. The feature that I absolutely like, and in previous vehicles I did not have this, but I can't believe I use it as much as I do, are the heated seats. This thing is, I believe, just permanently on. It's always just being heated, and it's something that I think every vehicle should have. But one thing that I think Subaru missed the boat on, especially with car enthusiasts, is the quality of speakers. It is a night and day difference between the WRX and the STi. They are much better speakers, but like for example, in the mornings I go to the gym and I drive my wife's Lexus so that I don't wake up the neighborhood twice, and I believe she has Bose sound in her GS350, and those speakers are amazing compared to this. I'm sure there are much better speakers even than that, but if they could have just put in a little bit better quality speakers, I think I would have been super grateful, as would majority of the car enthusiasts. As before, I mean, what was the first upgrade, or one of the first upgrades that we used to do, is just upgrade the speakers. And it would be nice if we didn't have to do that. Same thing, like for example, the STi wheels. It is the first time that I've told myself I do not want to put aftermarket wheels on this car, because those wheels, in my opinion, are just perfect. Well, that's it for now. Aside from the pickup truck that I'm going to be doing some work on, and I know I mentioned that I'm going to be doing an engine swap. I'm hopefully going to be putting in a 383 stroker in there, so that's going to be pretty exciting. That thing is going to be hopefully lightning fast. But at the same time, I'm going to be working even before that on another project, and that's my C6 Corvette. I know I asked you guys before, what should I do? And in the end, I kind of realized that working on the Corvette is something that my son and I would really enjoy doing, and to him, he loves the Corvette, so I decided to go ahead and keep the Corvette and just completely go berserk on it. Well, you'll see those videos shortly, and hopefully once I start working on it, they'll be coming out pretty regularly. Another video that you guys can look forward to is the full project overview of the silver Corvette, the C5 Corvette. And basically I'm going to just recap everything that I've done to it. Should be like 15-20 minute video. But that one's going to be coming out pretty soon. I've already started working on that one. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to promise any new videos coming up weekly, but because I say that, hopefully they will. Until next time.